Ladies and gentlemen, I am Bruce, aka Haunted Husband, and welcome to Becoming. It's a pretty graphic title to start off the game. I like the text, it's appealing. What is becoming, you ask? Becoming is about a self-centered man faces his beliefs when the past comes back to haunt him in the form of a very close friend. It's very Tommy Wiseau. That's what I'm feeling. I don't know anything about this game. It might be not safe for work. It might be a little bit adult oriented. I don't know anything about it. I saw it in the new releases. It looked interesting. So I thought, why not me? You can see the maker's Twitter in the bottom left hand corner. So how about we just jump into it? I'm just curious about it. And for a game that cost $2, it actually has a full-blown settings menu with sound, text, and basic. Usually with games like this, you don't see settings at all. It's just you load it and it's just what it is. So that's already a plus as it is. So let's do it. Hello? Oh. Rejection. He held the vibrating stanchion with his left hand, clenching the wet steel as if it wanted to rip it off. From the ceiling he could feel the fibers of his bulging muscles tearing down as all of his strength was focused on not letting the bar go. Despite the lack of other passengers, he never ever sat down and stayed motionless for the most part of the ride, like a keen strap hanger? I don't know much about that terminology. Strap hanger might be people. It might be a subway rider term because they don't have subways where I live. Most of his routine revolved around avoiding rush hour. Yeah, me too, buddy. As much as he could, even if it impaired his schedule for the rest of the day. It made some clients quite unhappy. You know what? They'll get over it. The daily subterranean journey began over. Oh, reading comprehension is number one, kids. The daily subterranean journey being over, only a few blocks separated him from his office to where he could walk with his eyes closed. Milton and Kearney, Amsterdam Avenue, 53rd Street. This has I assume a New York City vibe. I'm going to tell you, buddy, if you're walking in New York City, I don't think you'll be walking anywhere with your eyes closed. But today was different, for he would indulge himself into taking on olfactive shortcut through the Asian district with the hope of catching a discreet yet unique smell of a broth that could inspire him. Even if he never studied to become a chef, his love of Asian cuisine made him a notable connoisseur of all around town. I know text is going on. I'm just going to look at... I've been reading the text more than paying attention to the backdrop. She has some sweet art. Especially this dude who looks kind of like our dude in a bikini thong. She's got talent. Strolling down towards the faint scent of lemongrass and ginger, which to him tops even the most expensive perfumes, he noticed a couple of drawings scattered on the floor. A girl in the fetal position was sitting awkwardly on the concrete floor, staring down at the few coins bystanders threw at her, probably without taking a glimpse of her artistic skills. I mean, can you really call this a concrete floor? Isn't this just the ground? If it's not inside of a building, is it actually a floor? Deep thoughts here with Bruce. Keep walking. Of course I'm going to talk to her. I want her to paint me like one of her French girls. She was enveloped by a dim shadow, curling drawing the light between those with luck and those without. These are nice drawings. Charcoal art is my favorite. Adam said with a tone of condescendence. Really? Do we know his name was Adam before this? I don't remember seeing his name. So now we know the main character's name is Adam. And he's being condescending about charcoal art? Man, I'd like to see you do it. I bet you can't. I can't. He was met with a long-lasting silence. I don't blame her. I wouldn't talk to his condescending ass either. He thought she didn't hear him, so he kneeled down with the intent to buy them. He just kneeled down and was going to yell in her face. Look at me! Give me the drawings! How much is it? I really would like to buy one. I bet he wants the muscular dude one. She held her ankles even more tight and nodded. Look, lady, are you running a business or a charity here? Like, this is commerce. I need to know the price. I'm a very busy lawyer. Did it say he was a lawyer? He said about meeting with clients. And the title of the office gives it the impression that it's a lawyer office. So I'm just going to assume he's a lawyer until proven otherwise. And his name's Adam. And he's kind of a dick. Miss, he insisted. Ah. The second he saw her face, he got up and turned tail. The hell? What's with the creepy face? What the... Alright, gotta keep it PG-13. Can't drop any F-bombs in the video, but... My dude, like, seriously. Okay, so he's a broker. That's right, low-yield ISOs for a non-defaulted system at risk. I'm not kidding you, barked a youngish financial grunt. Everything about him was demeaning, but Adam was true professional. You're right, that's a good one. The young executive looked around, then smirked as he raised his hands. Don't tell anyone, but the new regulations for subprime commodities... I mean, I don't want to talk about stonks. I don't give a crap about stonks. All words faded as time froze. Can I go back to looking at the young guy's face? Young man. He had just recalled the moment he saw her face. It had taken him a few hours to pinpoint the exact feeling he got crushed with. Something he had never experienced before looking into her eyes, which said more than mere words. I guarantee if I looked it up, like from here, something he had never experienced before looking into her eyes, which said more than mere words, I'm sure that's a great line from an 80s ballad somewhere. Like, I would have to look that up, but that sounds like an 80s power ballad. Please end this. I cannot continue anymore. Talking to himself? He had seen love, hate, sadness, pity, fear. But for the first time in his life, he encountered something he could put a name on. I don't know if that's right. Because it said he has seen love, hate, sadness, pity, fear. But for the first time in his life, he encountered something he could put a name on. When I think it should be he couldn't put a name on. Oh, Despair by Calvin Klein. Yo, look at me. I don't know why I think he's a Guido. What a prick. No comment. He had used his managerial skills to get rid of that deadbeat whose only goal in life was to mimic a deity by creating and destroying businesses' hopes and lives. So how did it go with the prick? A middle-aged subordinate leaned against the sink. That's James Oda. Another one of those cunning salesmen, but since he works for Adam, he never put him on his hate list. He insists on being called Oda. Oda! What do you think? As he pointed to his crotch. No, sorry. Sorry. He shook his head. You wanted to rip his heart out and make him eat it with some soy sauce. I am right. No, his kind. His kind. No, his kind does not have a heart. Touch? Oh. The game had stopped in a weird place where it just said touch. And I'm like, no, I don't want to touch anybody. Touche. Still in the process of fixing his tie, Adam asked, You're done for the day? Yep. Time to go home. And not have relations with the wife. I'm sorry to hear that. Give her some time. Having a kid is a life changer for women. But for us, it's just a game changer. You gotta adapt. Maybe you should buy her a present or something like that. I guess you're right. You know everything about women, don't you? He laughed and pulled out some bills. I'm gonna buy me some hookers on the way home. What am I playing? And why am I enjoying it? Why? Adam smiled, then headed back to his office. Have a good one. While he never understood people who paid for sex, he understood those who sold their privacy to some strangers, though. Oda! Swiftly left Adam's... What? Oda swiftly held Adam's arm. How about we both go and get a massage? I mean, recently you haven't looked so too good. I don't... Get over her, Oda insisted. It's on me. These women will know how to make you forget Kim. I'll pass. Don't tell me you're off women, Oda shouted. Adam's blood got close to its boiling point. No way. Never. I'd never be in the guys, bruh. Just because I'm in the men's restroom looking at you seductively while you're asking me for advice on how to get pleased. No, I would no. I'd never be in the dudes. Wink. He left the bathroom abruptly. The buzzing noise from the neon lights barely kept him awake. Hey, 10 out of 10, I know how that feels. Slowly swaying back and forth on his chair, Adam could barely keep his eyelids from covering his sclera? Man, this game's gonna put my vernacular to the test, isn't it? From one end to the other, from replacing words that are so, let's say 5 cents to words that are $1. Another 5 minutes. That's what she said. 7 p.m. was the perfect time to leave the office and head to the station. Oh, that's right. I was thinking, like, if you're so tired, just go home. But he doesn't like rush hour. He hates people. Upon arriving at the precise time, most people would have vanished in the thin air, so he could board the train home. Another 4 minutes. My dude, you could leave now. And just get to the station and just wait 5 minutes for getting on a train. Not unless your MO in life is to avoid all people at all times. The office was quiet now that everyone had left, and while he treasured the quietness, he couldn't help but sense a feeling of emptiness. He had been in this position for a few years, and he started to like his team members, or at least their presence. Sorry, I'm just jamming to the music. Another 2 men? Oh, dang! I stood up and headed to that place some call home. To him, it was just temporary. It had been temporary for the past 5 years. This. I'm going to make that my freaking thumbnail for the video. That's perfect. I'm assuming at some point I'm going to make some choices in this life. I'm sitting here just looking at the picture, and I'm looking at these things on the wall. I thought his walls were dirty, but there's actually a pattern. I thought he had like brown smudges on his wall. Like, dude, is that why Kim left you? You're painting the tile with Never mind. An oaky scent of orange surrounded the glass, which Adam held firmly in his hand. Nothing could beat a glass of overpriced Islay after a hard day's work. Each and every sip would slowly release some rare estery flavors. These words are underlined. Oh, dang. It's a strap hanger. A passenger subway who clings for support to one. So what is it? Like, do I really need to know what freaking... You're really trying to tell me what Asian cuisine is? Like, seriously. Islay is a Scotch whiskey only made on the Islay Islands. That makes sense. Located in the inner Hebrides of Scotland, this type of whiskey is produced at a single distillery from nothing other than yeast, water, and malted barley. Sign me up. That's neat. That's nice that they have a reference or a dictionary in the game so you can figure out what the frick is going on to a point. If only life could be as balanced as a whiskey. Adam stared at the ring his ex-girlfriend had left on the table, along with the run-of-the-mill... I think it's supposed to be cliche. Clitch? I think it's supposed to be cliche. Oh, Jack, it's literally just sitting there. Like, has this ring and note been sitting on the table for 5 years? Like, my dude, like, it's time. Get over it. He couldn't recall on what day it had come. He couldn't recall on what day he had come home to this blatant message of rejection, yet the thick layer of dust covering the ring gave it away. He's lying. He's absolutely lying. He knows exactly what day it was, what day of the week it was, what time it was. If he's this so far down in self-pity and loathing, he knows exactly what day it is. Don't lie to me. I'm on to you. And I originally thought this was based in like New York City. But looking on the wall back here, if this is an outlet, outlets don't look like that here. So it could be a light switch or something, but that's a very interesting light switch. It looks like an outlet. I guess it's been a while. No joke. What did I do wrong? It sounds like you're a dick. It sounds like you're a major dick, and you probably deserved it. Ah. A face. A few days before breaking up, he booked a cozy villa in the mountains for the two of them to relax from their stressful jobs. At least that was the official story he had told her. Adam knew she was drifting apart. Shouldn't it be like Adam knew they were drifting apart? He had planned everything for her to enjoy this retreat, from cross-country skiing to her favorite Swiss dish, which required an expensive and rare kind of cheese. Oh, expensive cheese. That will fix the problems. It should have worked, but it didn't. She had that swallowed... Well, my mind went somewhere else. She had that shallow look in her eyes the whole time, even during sex. It's not me, it's you, bruh. That's a pretty good rendering of a face. Maybe it's for the best, he whispered, sulking. Maybe it was just meant to happen. He poured himself another drink and logged on the TikTok. Ah! This reinforces my belief that the charcoal drawing of the man in the bikini briefs was him, because this is telling me that it was him. I mean, it's very detailed. He's got a good in the veins. I mean, that's a good rendering of a person. He hadn't slept in his bedroom ever since they broke up. Was it the fear of her perfume on the sheets, or the anguish of sleeping alone in a bed made for the two? So you're telling me for 5 years you've been sleeping like this on your couch, which means in the 5 years you haven't changed the sheets in your bed. My dude, you probably cloned another human being in your bed with all the skin cells that are just living in there. That's gross. If you're going to just throw everything away, the sheets, the bed, the pillows, just chunk it, start over. That would be a better solution. Since drinking too much made him pass out on the couch, he had not to ask himself these questions. So this is all coming from the view of the narrator, who is omniscient and omnipotent, so he sees and knows everything. So he knows what's inside Adam's head. So if he knows what's inside of Adam's head, he knows Adam's asking himself these questions. Therefore, he did not have to ask him these questions. So he did ask him these questions. This has been Deep Thoughts with Bruce. What is this? What is this? Is this Chris Angel? When I tell you. Man, like, we've been going for just about 20 minutes and we haven't really got into anything. Cursing his reckless addiction, like, bruh, we know what addiction is. Like, everyone knows what addiction is. Adam held his head between his hands for a few minutes. It took him a few seconds of compulsive blinking to get rid of his hazy vision. Does that work? I mean, I haven't been hungover in a very, 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 very long time. But to me, if I'm light sensitive, blinking my eyes nonstop, it just makes it worse. Turned the living room into a blurry nightmare. He didn't drink that much. The bottle still looks pretty full. Nice rug, by the way. Oh, nice face. Looks like it could be Greek or Roman from the pattern, from the Aristotle era. His mouth was so dry, he had to gather up all his might to stand up without falling back onto the couch. Head to the kitchen to hydrate his body with a couple of energy drinks. No. No. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Like, Gatorade, yes. Electrolytes. Water, yes. It's very healthy for you. Pedialyte, yes. Energy drinks, no. Let's see what we got going on. Some dumbbells. Does he need a gym bag if he's working out in his own gym? He laid down sluggishly on the ice-cold bench, started his daily workout routine with a complete determination. Eating breakfast was on his mind the whole time, but he knew, from experience, he had to wait until he was done with his reps. Is he doing it one-handed? What a G. Push the bar up and down, breathe in and out. Not that taxing to feel the burn and get high on endorphins. Endorphins. Which had been his drug of choice for the past 10 years. Besides whiskey. The past 10 years. So she left him 5 years ago, so he's been in the working out 10 years. I wonder if he used to be a chubby guy. Music's getting a little monotone and high-pitched, but, onward. Oh. I was expecting it to be... Yeah. 2 more minutes. He's one of the very few people on Earth who don't need a watch. His mind was a living countdown, and he got right most of the time. He tried to think about anything but Kim. Sadly, the two of them had relations so many times in the shower, they couldn't help but miss that feeling of desire. Now his intimacy was home to bitterness. Man, this guy's a one-track mind with no train. Subway shop. I know that's still pretty busy for him wanting to be left alone. So we're just going to reuse pictures. Take a shortcut. I want to talk to that Asian girl again. He looks like Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction right there. Suit, ponytail, the hair. Looks kind of John Travolta-esque. Just like the day before, Adam took his culinary shortcut, but this time he didn't really care about new smells. Although he never learnt nor had any reason to smile, one could see he seemed happy. The piles of garbage which filled up the doorsteps of the vacant lots were the perfect amusement park for all the kinds of rodents, Rats, junkies, mice, hobos. That's the perfect movie for all those kind of rodents. He's calling junkies and hobos rodents, just like the rats and the mice. This guy is such a dick. That's how he saw the inhabitants of Skid Row, except for her. This should be clickable. Takes you to the dictionary and it says Skid Row, an 80s metal band, fronted by Sebastian Bach. And then when you click on it, it should play their song. Her face reeked of desire. Damn it! Her face reeked of despair. But she had something else. It seems she could just see through him. She knew he was living a lie, that he was in the dudes. Like, what's his stance? It's a power stance. He stopped next to the large trash bin. He had seen her, but just like the dreams she probably had, she had vanished. I apologize that I'm rereading things over and over again, but my mind is just... When you're almost 30 minutes into a visual novel and just reading just kind of just blankets your head. He stopped next to the large trash bin. He had seen her, but just like the dream she probably had, she had vanished. Adam's keen eye landed on one of the drawings, which was covered in dirt and blood. The closer he got to the artwork, the strongest the stench of urine hurt his olfactory nerves. Any person would have thrown it out, but he didn't. He could not. He's into fetishes. He's got weird stuff. Just like when he saw her face, he was mesmerized and scared. It's not a bad picture. I don't think it's charcoal. It's more like pencil. Even the girl in the face has a discerning look looking at Adam. She's like, this guy's a prick. Damn, I am late for presentation. Looking up at the small covered sky, he folded the drawing, put it in his back pocket, and ran frantically. I wish there was a running animation, because I bet he runs like a girl. Beep boop 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 beep boop 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 boop. Call me. Call me. Which means we can exponentially increase the sales of the... He doesn't care. Oda! I've been pitching Adam his final speech he had delivered the next morning. Boring, senseless, shallow. A pretty good sales pitch, Adam thought. Man, this guy doesn't really care about anything. That's Oda? Doesn't look like Oda. Is this a Shia LaBeouf meme reference? Do it! Let's do it! And Oda just melts away. Oda held his head in his hand, squealing in pain while catching his breath after his grand finale. I didn't know one could get brain freeze from a sales pitch, Adam said. Maybe this is why your wife isn't interested in you, because you're out of breath just from screaming once. So how was it, boss? Not bad at all, he said, nodding his head. We'll know for sure tomorrow morning. Just don't sweat it, and take the rest of the day off. No way, Oda shouted back. I can do better. I could add that part we discussed about the sales from the last quarter. Adam remained silent for the next 30 minutes and paid no attention to Oda. How could he? In a few hours, his favorite restaurant would be open. The chef would cook something special for him, something off the menu. But what could it be? Who could it be now? Jesus, what the... Chicken dandan noodles? Salmon skewers stir fry? Char kway toa spicy prawn noodles? Chili tofu with soba noodles? Please tell me these are just like all one... No, they're all different entries. It's a Szechuan street food classic, idiot. Yeah. It's a Malaysian street food classic. Everyone knows that. Buckwheat. Picturing soba noodles, salmon, pawn, and other meals made his stomach rumble so much an extent he had to cough loudly to cover the awkward noise. You've ever done that? You've ever had cough to cover your stomach rumbling? Is that supposed to be prawn? That was the least of his concerns, though, because the music died. Tonight will be the first time he'll go to Jen's restaurant without Kim. Geez, 2 more hours. I stopped myself. I was going to do an Asian accent. I stopped myself. I'm proud of myself. Even though it's enticing me to do it. Mr. Adam, it's nice to see you, uttered Jean with a thick Chinese accent. Standing quite tall and dressed in a typical tourist trap outfit, John had been a chef in many outstanding restaurants for decades. For some reason, he never talked about with Adam. He ended up in an alley between a love shop and a shady bookie. Besides being kind and joyful, he was more than a chef. He was the top dog when it came to fine cuisine. He made the noodles he served to his customers by hand, a skill that takes years to master. He could make 8 treasure duck, a New Year's recipe, with his eyes closed. Beggar's chicken was his best dish, and he could collect the mud by himself. Then he would wrap the meat in mud and cook it for a half a day. So 8 treasure duck is highlighted so we can figure out what that is, but beggar's chicken isn't? The duck will be stuffed with 8 ingredients like diced chicken, shrimps, or lotus seeds. Interesting. He's trying to give him stock advice. Is the missing... Almost did it. Is the missing not coming tonight? John had dropped his fake accent. I don't think she ever came with me. With a smirk. It's an innuendo, folks. You know, yuck, 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 yuck. Jim burst into laughter. Humor the man. I made you something special. Very special. I made you bits of Kim with soba noodles. Anything but boy eggs. Shin had served him that meal the very first day they met. When Adam realized that these eggs had been boiled in urine, he lost it and they came close to duking it out. And no shark fins, Adam added. I know, my friend, I know. You have a heart of gold. Not much of a heart, old friend. Not much left. So be it. No meat for you tonight. John served him a vegetable dish as an hors d'oeuvre and a bottle of Baijiu, a sorghum-based Chinese liqueur, also known as Samju, Shaju, or Bagang. Look, Chinese isn't my strong point. To your health, my friend. To yours, said John, with a slight bow. They both raised their glasses in a sign of mutual respect and true friendship. Hours went by. Adam paid his bill the same way he always did when having dinner at John's. It was an old tradition dating back to 3 years ago when Adam had lost his wallet and only had a few coins in his back pocket. John, who could tell a connoisseur when he saw one, told him to give him the change he had. Adam promised he would be back the next day, but was met with refusal. The essence of food is of the moment, said John. Adam came back a couple days later, and without looking at the bill, he gave the chef all the money he had in his wallet. The two bonded that night. Money was not the matter to them. Adam headed back home. I want something. Give me something other than reading. Give me a choice. Give me an interaction. Give me something. Although he was in a drunken state and reeked of booze, still can't pronounce it, the Baijiu induced dizziness was manageable, and he walked slowly but surely without any major incident. Geez, watch out. And then he murdered the girl into the game. Cleaning up the dust from his pants, Adam looked at the person he bumped into. Are you all right? The large shadow from his body made it impossible for him to see the person got injured from the fall. Adam froze when he heard a soft-spoken thank you. She didn't seem to suffer from any injuries, but he wanted to make sure. Maybe she had hit her head on the concrete floor. Still calling it a floor, huh? Her face appeared more distinctly from the shadows, only to reveal a mix of beauty, cuteness, and filth. Last time he had seen her, he didn't realize how pretty she was. He could only see the despair carried by her eyes. That same despair. Let me call you an She cut him short. Please no, I'll be fine. You don't look good, miss, and your legs are swaying. If you hit your head, you could have a caca. I didn't. That's my blood sugar. Of all people, she sighed before her eyes rolled back and she started to lose her balance. Adam could see she went pale and held her frail body as she weighed 10 pounds. That girl clearly was suffering from malnutrition, which combined with hypoglycemia. I know that one because I have it. Could explain why she fainted. For people who know about hypoglycemia, you can read it right there. I'll be right. Just don't take me to the hospital. Last time I was there, they took my kidneys, I swear. Holding her in his arms, he nodded and thought she must have had her reasons. These are two very interesting choices. One is taking her to the hospital against her will, and the other one is taking her to your home, which she probably wouldn't agree to if she was in sound mind. So neither one of these are good choices. But I'm sure the game doesn't progress very well if you take her to the hospital. Let's get you something to eat. That does not... No. Keep your mind in the right place. Oh, some keys jingling. Oh, the door opened. That's the first time I heard that. It's a bit too late to get anything delivered, but I can cook you something. Do you have any allergies? She shook her head slowly, looking down at her sneakers. Her outfit was surprisingly not that dirty compared to her skin, but the smell gave it away. She was homeless or a vagrant. He sure as hell was not going to ask her how she ended up as a drifter. Adam considered that people are responsible for what happens to them. What a dick. He peeked into his fridge and started to gather everything he needed to cook her some soup. Cilantro, meat, eggs, onions, peanuts, noodles, soy sauce. After a couple minutes of food engineering, he went back to the living room. She was in the same position as she was when he first saw her in the alley. It looked like some kind of catatonic state. There's a storm coming, she muttered softly with a dread in her voice. He wanted to say something, but went back to check on the broth, which, to him, was way more important than the weather. Ooh, nice lighting effect. While he was laying out her dinner on the table, he noticed how she would wince at the blinding thunder. I guess you were right about that storm. Cats and dogs out there. Even rats and mice. You filthy vagrant. He was met with a deafening silence. She had moved by an inch. This made him mad for some people who would pay top dollar to eat a delicious pork ramen. Maybe she was scared. I really don't get people, he thought. Suddenly I remembered something from a show he used to watch with Kim. Apparently some people have a phobia about eating in front of strangers. He then decided to let her have her dinner alone. Enjoy your meal. I have to go do something. In my office. Adam headed to the hallway when he heard her voice. Thank you so much. Nagato. Arigato. So his office is the gym. He stayed on his bench for 10 good minutes with his eyes closed, trying to catch a, oh my gosh, this is so good, or even better, did a chef make that ramen? Besides the rumbling noise of the rain hitting the windows and the occasional thunder, he couldn't hear anything. Maybe she's a silent one. Then it hit him. Maybe she left already after stealing all his valuables. The thought vanished once he noticed she was washing her bowl in the sink. He smiled at the thought of her being a thief. It was the best soup I've ever had in my life. His heart flatlined for a second. It was the first time someone complimented on his cooking skills, and it felt good. Kim never noticed how good he was at cooking, and he resented her for that. But then again, she only hates salads. Maybe that's supposed to be she only ate salads? That would make more sense. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call the video right there. We've been going way longer than I expected. I'm enjoying the game so far. As a visual novel, it's kind of like make your own choice, see what happens, kind of choose your own adventure. The dialogue is hard sometimes. The graphics are nice. I'm very interested to see where this goes. If you are interested as well, I'm going to put the link to the game in the description. And if you enjoyed the video, I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button. You'll be notified when my videos go live. I post something every day at 12 noon and at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I also stream on Twitch, which I'll probably end up streaming this on Twitch to finish the game out, at Haunted Husband. I'm also on Twitter at Haunted_Husband as well. So, as always, you have a great day, and I'll haunt you later.